Welcome inside the inaugural Pac-12 Baseball Tournament here in Scottsdale, Arizona, where the top 8 teams will battle it out for an automatic bid into the NCAA tournament. Now Stanford sits on top as the #1 seed, and they have been hot so far. 14 straight games. They're on a winning streak and an absolute tear right now, but there's definitely plenty of star power to go around in this conference as well, as there are 6 teams in the Pac-12 that have 30+ wins on the season. But if this tournament and season has taught us anything, it's that anybody can beat anybody on any given day. Cal and UCLA are facing off for the second time in 3 days. Now Cal won the first game 4-1. And something unique about this Cal Bears team, they were the only team in this entire tournament that had to play 2 nightcaps. They had to play at 10:15 at night instead of the original 8:30 start time, but that has definitely not stopped them from playing well offensively and defensively. And the 2 Arizona schools will face off today for the first time this tournament. Now, something that both of these teams have in common is that both of them beat Oregon and also lost to Stanford. So definitely very even matched teams on paper, but in terms of the Arizona State Sun Devils, their pitching has certainly kept them in this tournament. They held Oregon, their high-powered offense, to only 2 runs yesterday. As for the Arizona State Wildcats, they've been on fire offensively. They've been more like the Arizona Wild Bats. They had 14 hits against the Stanford Cardinal yesterday despite their loss, and 3 home runs against Oregon. Well, day 3 of the Pac-12 Baseball Tournament certainly did not disappoint. In Game 1, Arizona versus Arizona State, the Wildcats prevailed over the Sun Devils 8-6 thanks to back-to-back home runs in the 3rd inning and a bases clearing triple in the 8th to put the game away for the Wildcats. They will go on to face Stanford tomorrow in a rematch. Winner moves on to the championship game. As for the Cal-UCLA game, this was their 2nd rematch in a 3-day span. Now, UCLA, they fought from behind. They scored 4 unanswered runs in extra innings to prevail against the Cal Bears, one of the hottest teams in this league. UCLA Bruins will take on the Oregon State Beavers for the first time this tournament. Now, head coach John Savage yesterday emphasized the Bruins, they've played from behind before. They know how to win and come back. Well, Oregon State, UCLA, I mean, there really is no words to describe the madness that happened today. Game 1, UCLA walked it off with the score of 25-22. That is the most runs ever scored in a Division I baseball game this season. The Bruins came back at the bottom of the 9th and they scored 9 runs to force extra innings, and then they hit a 3-run home run to walk it off and to force a second game against the Oregon State Beavers 45 minutes later. Now, instead of the Beavers hanging their heads and getting down about this game and the frustration ultimately that it caused, they bounced back and they were actually on the other side of a walk-off in the 9th inning. They won it 8-7, and no better player than Pac-12 Player of the Year Jacob Melton walking it off for them. Well, it all comes down to this tonight. It is the championship game between the Stanford Cardinal and the Oregon State Beavers. Now, 2 different teams and 2 very different paths to get to this point. Your Stanford Cardinal are the 2022 inaugural Pac-12 Baseball Tournament champions. They did it all this tournament. They were the only team to go 4-0, also play in this Arizona heat, and it sure paid off for them. They beat out top-ranked Oregon State, and the long ball was the storyline for tonight. 3 different players hit 3 home runs. Braden Montgomery's home run hit a daunting 468 feet. Now, they have all the momentum in the world going into the NCAA tournament. 16 straight wins. This team is really on fire and incredibly locked in, and coach said it best, 1 game at a time and even 1 pitch at a time. They're certainly going to take that with them into the College World Series. In Scottsdale, Arizona, Gianna Seflu, Pac-12 Networks.